Nasaan ang mga tao? Mm. Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'm Sir Ken Pisano. I will be your lecturer for tonight. Okay. Brief introduction. I'm a public school teacher here in San Romeo, Cebu. I I'm 24 years old. I graduated from the University of San Carlos, magna cum laude, and class valedictorian, and I was ranked 9 during the 2019 board exam. So let's start. We will be tackling 150 items for science, technology, and society this night. Okay, so kindly comment your answers. Okay, for number one. Okay, can anyone type their answers now? It's fine if masayo. Ox rin siya. Okay, Ma'am Nicole. Good evening, ma'am. So, Ma'am Nicole's answer is boy, random. Anyone else? Okay, Sir Joshua is boy. Okay, and Sir Jomar too. All right, so the answer, of course, is boy. So, in order to ensure that the sample is representative of a population, it has to be random. So, in research, we usually use two types of sampling. We have random sampling and purposive sampling. For random sampling, just as how it sounds, we basically get random people from a select group. For example, if you want to test about the taste of a specific ice cream, for example, you can go to the market and then you can randomly select people there to get a general feel for the population. However, for purpose of sampling, you need to have a specific target for your research. For example, if your research is on teacher finances, so of course you can interview or you can admit to your research other professions aside from teachers, diba? So very good, boy. Number two. So admission bias, also known as Bergson's bias, is what do you think? All of these basically are just types of sampling bias or selection bias. It's just a bit more specific. Okay, so kindly type in your answers now so we can proceed. Ayan, Catherine de Guzman Limos. Hello, ma'am. Good evening. Okay, so no one's answering. I'll just type here. Okay. Okay, Ma'am Nicole, dog. Okay, very good. So the answer is actually dog. Mm. So when not every subject is given the equal opportunity to be included in the study. So the keyword there is included kasi nga may admission na word. So when you admit something, you include something, diba? So the answer is dog. Very good. It basically just means na in your study, you have a specific portion of the population that you intentionally did not admit to, or did not did not include in the sample population. So that already is a bias that could potentially skew your data. Number three, not a bias in data analysis. It's very easy. Okay, very good, Sir Joshua. The answer is C, interpretation of data. Since interpreting data is basically just a part of your data analysis, that's a normal part of the research. Fabrication, manipulation, and elimination of data, those are all um, they are all classified under falsification of data. So things that are very unethical and that you should never do in your research. Number four, the reading material isn't provided, but just assume. Anyone? So if data is deviated, or there are some alterations in your data, what should you do? Okay, very good, Ma'am Nicole. Answer C, confess it in their articles by declaring the known limitations of their work. You don't do letter D. They should change the data and manipulate it to correct the errors. You can't do that. Since even if you're manipulating it in order to correct a mistake, you're still manipulating the data, which is a big no-no in research, okay? So the best that you can do is to confess it to the publishers or to the editors and then let them decide what to do. So at least then, my third party na involved. It's not just you tampering with your own data. Okay? So a lot more trustworthy yung results after. Five. What do you think? It's a tricky question, no? Okay. What do you think? Okay. So the answer here is actually cap. Okay. So since we're talking about, look, let's read the question again. Having only research with positive results and not accepting of those with negative results would be a form of what bias. So when you're accepting or you're rejecting a research, this means that you are a publication. Okay, you are the one publishing the research. You're not the researcher. So in this case, it should be letter C. It's a publication bias. This usually occurs kapag yung research natin is intended for drugs. So, kumbaga, let's say may halaman dito na it can potentially cure this kind of illness, and then it turns out na hindi pala. So some publications actually don't want to publish that kasi they feel like it doesn't make the headlines and it's not conducive to parang hindi siya nakaka-add sa literature. But a negative result is still a result nonetheless, di ba? Kasi in research we have a null hypothesis and the purpose of research is to either prove or disprove the null hypothesis. So pag na-disprove, then why not, di ba? Yeah, so that is publication bias. 6. It's very easy. So basically, suportado ng isang company yung researchers or sila yung na-provide ng equipment, etc. for the research. So, tapos yung subject ng research is a product or directly involved yung company. So that is boy, very good. So that is funding bias. You cannot trust the results of that. That is why, especially for sensitive topics in research, you really have to look. It's not enough na you look into the number of citations to know if the research paper is legitimate or not. You also have to look into the sponsors of the research, not just the researchers themselves. You have to look at the sponsors and the ties of the researchers. Kasi pag bayad naman sila ng company, tapos sinasabi nila, kiniklaim nila sa research nila na yun nga, beneficial itong particular product na to, tapos yung company pala yung nagbabayad sa kanila. So that's already very questionable, di ba? Even if they didn't skew the data, even if they didn't alter the data, that would still be very, very dubious. 7. Selection bias and admission bias are basically the same thing. They have very minor differences lang. So what's your answer for this? Okay, very good. So the answer is, wait, did you answer na? Wala pang answer na, yung number 7. Buti may number na, so I can tell. Let me raise my laptop. Para at least, hindi masyadong awkward yung ano. Awkward yung angle. Anyone? Okay, very good. Ma'am Nicole. Okay, all-star pupil si Ma'am Nicole. Oh, bilis mo sumagot. Okay, the answer is boy. It's filtering the sample in the population to make sure that some part of the population will not be represented. Oh, but number 8 ka naman? Did I click number 8 na? So anyway, so the answer is boy, okay? So again, I'll just repeat, selection bias is pretty much the same with admission bias, very minor differences lang. All right, it's basically just selecting or specifically selecting a group of people or not selecting, nag-lag yung phone ni ma'am, or not selecting a specific part of the population in order to skew the results. So for example, just an example, okay? You are looking into the quality of life of people in Metro Manila. However, you are intentionally not including people in the economic brackets E and D. So basically yung masa, majority of the people there. So of course, you will get a good quality of life kasi mostly middle and upper class yung nasa data set mo. So the result will be non-representative kasi di mo include yung masa yung class E and D, di ba? So that's an example of a selection bias. Next. So you are reporting or entering non-existing data, you're eliminating data, and using inappropriate tests. So usually pag qualitative naman, quantitative, you just use you just use yung mga t-test, ANOVA, z-test, stuff like that. Pero pag qualitative naman, you use the SSPS. Nasaan na yung iba? Parang si lang, si Sir Joshua tsaka si Ma'am Nicole lang yung parating naka-comment. Oh, there. Panambulan Al-Rashid. Hello, sir. Okay, so the answer here is, ano ba? Data interpretation, data collection. Okay, so the answer here is actually during, very good, data analysis. Since you're still testing, you're not yet interpreting the data. Okay? So you are still in the analysis phase. You are not in the interpretation stage. Pag interpretation kasi you're already making a judgment kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng data. Alright? Pag analysis pa na, ibig sabihin nasa testing phase ka pa. And in this case, we're talking about reporting data, eliminating data, tsaka using an appropriate statistical tests. So we are still in the data analysis phase of the research. So the answer should be letter A. Okay? Hello, Ma'am Marisa. Next. Very easy. Very good. So the answer is A. Yeah. Good evening, Ma'am Jennifer. So yeah, the answer is letter A. That is bias. Okay? So any deviation from the truth is referred to as bias. Number 10. Ito naman. Pag poorly defined daw or walang proper na standard. Okay, very good, Sir Joshua. So the answer is misclassification bias. Ibig sabihin, you did not set a specific a specific criteria or a specific exclusion principle or an exclusion criteria regarding kung ano yung mga variables mo. Okay? So that is already a misclassification bias. 11. Not a benefit of tape recording. What do you think? Not. Okay, remember, not. There's a qualifier. Not a benefit. Okay, of course. The answer is letter C. Writing down the observations is not largely the job of the researcher. So that's not really, it doesn't make sense, diba? Letter A, letter B, and letter D, they're all benefits of tape recording. And especially for qualitative research or for mixed method research, they usually involve FGDs or focus group discussions or in-depth interviews. So interviews that can last for an hour to 2 hours. So it's very, very important and it's very, very beneficial to have tape recording. Okay? Kapagod lang mag-transcribe, but that's how it is. 12. Yeah, haba. What do you think? context clues na lang kasi we don't really know ano yung ano eh, what's up with the Union of the Concerned Scientists, etc. So, context clues na lang. Which do you think is the best answer there? Okay, very good. So letter A, private corporations affected the withdrawal or reversal of scientific research conclusions. So this actually happened a lot of times during the late 1900s. Ano, yung mga 1970s to 1990s, around that. Um, kasi very big companies, tobacco companies actually decided to fight the research against tobacco smoking. So, ayun. They even claim that some at some point in history they even claim that it was beneficial for your health when we already know now, looking back na it just causes cancer and addiction. So that's an example of private corporations affecting or reversing scientific research. So they actually buy or pay off publications in order to reverse or completely get rid of the researches that are that point to or that link cancer and tobacco smoking. So ayun. Next, 13. Mm. Very common sense question. What do you think? Yeah, this is live. Okay, so the answer is yeah, letter A, of course. That is medical research. Since we're talking about pharmaceutical companies, basically companies that are involved in medical stuff. So medical equipment, pharmaceuticals or drugs, etc., or hospitals. So letter A is medical research. 14. You're welcome, ma'am or Sir Calix. Sorry, Sir siguro, no? Calix man. Okay, if you notice, a lot of the questions are US based because a lot of the laws in the US or a lot of our laws in the Philippines are actually patterned after US laws minsan. So, it's they're still pretty much relevant. Very good, Ma'am Kimberly. The answer is boy. The Bayh-Dole Act is actually very important because it allows ownership of the automatic ownership and patenting of any federally funded research. So pag ang gobyerno nag-fund ng research mo, automatically the credit goes to the professors and the university that conducted the research, especially when it's commercialized na. Okay? 15. Okay, very good. That is the Google effect. Alright, so internet eh. When we talk about Google effect, ang ibig lang sabihin nun, may theory sila na people, pag alam nila na makikita lang sa internet yung particular information na yun, di nila they take it for granted and they don't remember it as clearly as information that they know that they can find on the internet. Okay? So pag alam nila na readily available online, so they don't really bother remembering it na. This is the Google effect. So reliant yung mga tao sa internet. But to be fair, what is the internet for, di ba? 16. Yeah, that. Also called digital amnesia. Next, 16. Yung true task, yung ano, sige na lang. Sige nga, tingnan natin kung alam niyo. Letter, what do you think? Okay, very good. So the answer is, okay, very good. The answer is C. So it's a test. I'll just show you, okay? This one. See, so the first part, the first group of letters, no, colors, they match, diba? Pag ang word is red, so the color is also red. Pag green, green din. However, yung nasa baba, it's reversed or not really, it's different. Tingnan mo nga yung sabi nila purple but the color is green. So it's much more difficult, diba? Yeah, it's much more difficult. Oh, late lumalabas. Okay. Sige na lang. Okay. So that's basically the group task lang. It's just there's a disconnect, there's a cognitive disconnect between what you're reading and what the bumabalik siya. Between what you're reading and what your brain registers kung ano yung kulay. Kasi pag purple, ang nire-register na kulay sa atin is of course the color purple. Pero pag nakikita natin green, so it's a cognitive disconnect. Makes us confused, basically. Next. Oh my god, why is this going back? Let me check. Anyone? Ano man siya? What is wrong with this? Okay, so the answer, I'll just answer na lang. The answer is technology, okay? So, set of knowledge, ideas, and methods. Wala, ba't palang lumalabas? Oh, gee, is it lagging? Oh, no. Kanina pa naka-display yung number 17 eh. Oh, well. Sige, ito, number 18. Is it visible to everyone? What about that? Yung number 17. May nakikita na ba kayo na question? Kasi it's displaying here number 17 eh. I'm not sure. Ah, okay. That's good. So ayun, I already answered that eh. So the answer there is technology. Okay? Okay, number 18. What? Is the question visible ba? Sa number 18? Ah, hello, Sir Gerald. Daming time na, Sir Gerald. Um, wait a minute. Let me try to turn off my cam. Baka ano, baka it's better. Eto, is it visible na for number 18? Oh my god. There? It's displaying now, yung number 18. Is it visible now? Okay. Sorry for this. I'll try to ano, I'll try to use the other Wi-Fi. Wait a minute. Hmm. Okay, so is number 18 there na? Okay, very good. So refers to the legal issues related to the use of the internet. That is, what do you think? Yeah, the general term for that is letter A. That is cyber law. Okay, so let's go to number 19. So from the word rural electrification, context clues na lang. Okay, Ma'am Kimberly, letter D. So correct. The answer is dog. Very good. Sabi rural electrification eh. So letter D, a law that was enacted to bring electric power to most rural areas of the US. 20. Okay, Sir Joshua. Letter A, very good. So that is system interference, basically. So since we're not talking about a single computer, we're also talking about a computer network. Eh. So we consider that as a system interference na. Okay? Next. Ito naman. So exogenous, it means external or outside process. I just added notations there para mas malinaw. Okay, that is invention. So, ang main difference lang nito between invention and innovation is invention is you are creating something new. Innovation is improvement on that specific thing. Okay? So, when you are creating something pa, so that is still invention. Pero when you're already just improving on something that already exists, that is innovation. Tapos may dalawang part ng innovation yan or may dalawang components. We have process and product innovation. Yung process innovation is improving on how the product is being made. So maybe lesser cost or maybe lesser time before lesser time for it to be assembled, etc. And then of course there's the product innovation, which is a direct improvement of the product. Let's delve into that more later on. Basta the answer for this is invention. Okay? Again, I'll just restate. Invention kapag may ginagawa kang bago. And then innovation is if you are improving on something that already exists. 22. I already answered that. Okay, very good. So the answer is boy, product innovation. So again, pag improvement sa product, that is product innovation. Pag improvement sa process ng paggawa ng product or sa process ng pag-market sa product, that is process innovation. 23. Basically, the internet as a public domain. So pag may upload ka na picture, for example, online, you are relinquishing any reasonable expectation of privacy kasi the internet is considered as a public domain. So anong tawag ng concept na to? Very good. That is letter C, net neutrality. Okay? Ibig sabihin lahat ng nasa internet is subject to public domain. Okay? So you cannot expect privacy if you upload something on the internet. 24. Okay, so process innovation is letter, as I've explained, it's letter A, change in the process. So an example of process innovation would be our phones, di ba? Noong mga early 2000s, cell phones were very expensive. They were expensive and they were not readily available. Eh ngayon, kahit touchscreen nga, you can buy something for like 3,000 pesos, di ba? Or 4,000. You could never during those times you would never imagine to purchase a touchscreen phone for less than 20 siguro 20 30,000. Okay, so that's an example of a process innovation. You are still delivering the same product, even a better product, however the cost is significantly reduced. So maybe because um, na na mass produce mo na siya, so na scaled na. Okay. And then, of course, may mga techniques and strategies sa factory making na nakakapababa ng costing nila. So, ayun, that's an example of process innovation. Yung product innovation naman is just a direct improvement on the product itself. So, an example would be the iPhone line, diba? Starting with the very first iPhone until now, iPhone 15. So, every succeeding generation may pagbabago and may improvement sa previous generation. So, that is product innovation. 25. Very direct. 10157, 10175, sorry, is okay. Letter A, Cybercrime Prevention Act. Okay, just keep that in mind. 10175 is Cybercrime Prevention Act. So because there are so many trolls right now, online trolls, so all the more reason kung bakit dapat i-enforce talaga ang act na to. So much online harassment going in the Philippine web space. So we really need acts regarding that. 26. Is this Is this a repeating question? No, it's not a repeating question. So ano to? Conception of basic ideas. So you're still creating something, okay? You're not yet, Okay, very good. That is invention. Yeah. Again, if you're creating something and that's invention, if you're improving on something, that is innovation. 27. Oh, but may answer na? Okay. May answer na eh. Baka ano lang. Hindi na ah, hindi na remove yung highlight. Anyway, so nanotechnology 27 bonus. Yeah. So it comes from the Greek word nanos, which means person, small person or dwarf. That's probably one of the reasons why we have a term for that, which we use as onano, diba? So it means small person or dwarf. That's probably a derivative of that word then. So again, nanos means small person. So we're now in the nanotech part of the exam. Okay, so again, context clues. Para saan talaga yung nanotechnology? What do you think is the best application there? Okay, dog, to take further action in the improvement of nanotech research. That's a reasonable answer, but that's not the answer. Okay, actually the answer here is, ano ba yung main nga applications ng nanotechnology? That is environment and safety, or environment and health, basically. Okay, so the answer should be boy. Nanotechnology is in the environment. It's usually used in energy storage and energy production. Tapos in medicine, of course, it's used for treating specific illnesses, or it could even treat some studies have claimed that it could even treat antibiotic resistant uh, illnesses or diseases. So it has a lot of applications in cancer therapy, for example. Okay, so 29. Oh, walang article. Pero saan dyan yung Saan dyan yung major na challenge? What do you think? Okay, very good, Ma'am Marisa. The answer here is actually dog and Ma'am Ivy. So creating large quantities of nanoscale materials is very time consuming and it's very, very expensive. Again, not again. Nano 1 nanometer is equivalent to around 10 atoms. So imagine the scale of that, diba? One individual atom, and then only around 10 of that para maka-reach ka ng ganong scale, which is it's very, very small. For me, it's a miracle how we even manage to create things as small as that, diba? Technology is amazing. 30. Buckyball. Sounds very cute. But I already put a notation eh. So very obvious na yung answer. The answer here is carbon. No, anyway, that's what a buckyball looks like. It's a nanosphere basically. It's used to trap things, and sometimes it can also be used to act as a shield for certain components or for certain compounds para di siya madaling maybe di siya madaling ma-absorb ng katawan or di siya masyadong madaling ma-degrade ng katawan. So that's an example of a nanotech. Basically, you're just arranging molecules in a specific way. In this case, carbon. Yeah, bonus. Kasi nag-ano ako eh. I put notations kanina. I was lecturing this kanina or in the morning. Tapos I just put notations in the test paper. So yun yung na-copy. Yun yung pinakopy ko actually. All right, 31. Oh, pag nanowires. An example of this would be fiber optics. Certain forms of fiber optics. Yung sa internet. So what's pero meron din namang there are a lot of other applications for this. So what do you think? Okay. Yeah, very good, Ma'am Kim. The answer is boy. It's the potential applications in solar cells and sensors. So one of the best applications of nanotechnology, as I said, is in electricity generation, and we call that biomimicry. For example, photovoltaic cells, yung mga cells na nagka-capture ng sunlight, basically in solar cells or in solar panels, they are a clear form of biomimicry. What are we mimicking exactly? We are mimicking the chlorophylls of plants, di ba? Na they capture sunlight and then they transmute that into usable energy. So we also use nanotech for that. 32. Except, okay? My word na except. Okay, very good. That is letter C. A drug has to be kept away from water until it is ready to be taken, since that is not really a challenge in taking oral drugs. Letter A, letter B, and letter D, they're all challenges relating to that. Okay, 33. Modified buckyballs, yung mga carbon balls, can be used for what? I already discussed this, so this is kind of a bonus. Mm, yeah, so it's letter A. Trapping harmful chemicals inside the body. Kasi diba, if you look at the structure of it, it really looks like a cage. Okay, 34. So if you're a small company though, and you're delving into research, what would be the most cost-effective way of going about it? Okay, so Ma'am Kim is letter D. Very good. The answer is dogs. So okay, collaborating with the research community, especially those coming from universities and other scientists. So if you lack funds, what you can do is, in order to start up your research, look for just look for willing researchers who want to collaborate with your given topic or your given with your given product, 'di ba? Para at least less labor costs. Tapos if you partner with universities, you also don't have to shoulder the cost of the laboratory and the equipment, since they already have those. Some research universities already have a suite of a full suite of research materials and equipment. So let's go to 35 because research and development is very expensive. 35. This is an ambiguous question though. Pero sige, try answering. So all of these basically are causes kung bakit mahirap i-fund yung nanotechnology. Pero which one kaya yung yung main reason kung bakit mahirap siyang isell ang nanotechnology? Okay, very good. The answer is C. It's risk on health, safety, and the environment. Because again, nanotechnologies, they are composed of nano-sized materials. So ang hirap niyan. When you unintentionally let loose a lot of nanoparticles, how are you going to retrieve that? Diba? Paano pa yan? So, alam nga naman, paano mo, yeah, how are you going to retrieve that? It's very difficult. Tsaka they're very harmful eh. So in the wrong hands, you could perhaps make in the realm of nanorobotics, you could even make nanorobots that can actually destroy cells. So basically, a walking anthrax bomb. It is very risky. So ayun, that's one of the reasons why letter A, letter B, and letter D exist. They're all correct in the sense that they are challenges on the funding regarding the funding, but the main reason is letter C. 36. Ito pala yung 1 nanometer. So 1 atom, of course, is A. So that's the atom. And of course, one molecule is around 1 nanometer for a molecule. Yung DNA natin, yung double helix, isang strand yan. That is 10 nanometers. Tsaka a regular virus, a regular circular virus is around 100 nanometers. So, it's 1 nanometer is very, very small. It's basically the size of one molecule. And that's crazy that we can even you know we could have even imagined to try to make something so small. Imagine creating your own molecule. Next. So specifically for businesses, ano sa tingin nyo? Okay, Ma'am Rosalind is dog, cat or dog? What do you think? Again, specifically for the field of businesses. All right. The answer is C. Less accessibility for smaller companies because, as I said, again nga, yung question is prefaced on the field of business. Letter D is correct. However, it is not specific to businesses. So the answer there should be letter C. It's less accessible. Nanotechnology is less accessible for smaller companies because, as I said, it's very time consuming, it's very laborious, and it's extremely expensive to produce nanotech. So only the really large pharmaceutical companies and military companies can even dream of researching and actually materializing nanotech. Okay? That's why we need government funding with regards to that. 37. Hmm. Okay, very good. That is letter. Okay, letter A, of course. It's the one that best answers the question. Pag green, ibig sabihin yan environmental. Okay? 38. That is, okay, that is dog. Very good. It is science, engineering, and technology conducted at a nano scale. It's basically the same with every other technological and scientific endeavor. The only difference is it's conducted in a very, very small scale. So size lang ang difference nila. 39. Okay, very good. So the answer is letter. Yeah, the answer is letter C. That is for energy conversion. Okay, don't get confused with the word storage. Since photovoltaics and fuel cells are all part of energy conversion, basically converting light and heat energy into electricity. Next, 40. Walang module, pero you got the gist. Context clues na lang. That is okay. So since we're talking about commercialization and property rights, that means letter D. Basically patent tickets. A patent ticket is basically some companies, especially large companies, they do this. They try to gatekeep how their product is made, not just the product itself. So to ensure that they have monopoly for that product. So for example, let's say for Pfizer, they try to patent, let's say they patent a specific drug. Okay, they don't just patent the drug, they also patent the ingredients and the process for making that drug to ensure na walang generic na lalabas na version of that drug, so they can retain high prices kasi sila lang yung marunong gumawa nun eh, or sila lang yung legally allowed to do that. Okay, unless you have to pay millions or billions in patent rights, or god forbid patent infringement. So yan, 41. Mm. What do you think? Remember, ang hinahanap is accept. Okay. Okay, the answer is C. Businesses nowadays largely rely on nanotech, which is completely false. Businesses don't really rely on nanotech because it's still not mainstream. Okay, it's a niche technology, but very powerful and it has a lot of potential. However, it's still not mainstream enough for even small businesses to actually rely on it on a daily basis for day to day operations. Okay, so letter C is wrong. 42. Very easy. Shit. Okay, very good. So that is, your answer is of course letter D. Oh, may ano nan yan eh. May opportunity sa challenges no. So wag ka na humanap ng iba. It's already stated there. All right. And then let's go to question 43. What do you think? Ma'am Kimberly is letter A. Anyone else? Mm. Sige. So of course, letter A, it will take less time to finish the research, which is not really, that's not true at all. So sometimes nga, yung voice recording, that's sa qualitative na research, that's one of the reasons kung bakit atagal gawin ng mga qualitative research because you have to transcribe it pa eh. Apart from the thematic analysis that you have to do on the actual answers, yung ano pa, yung pa-transcribe lang ng interview, my God, ang hirap niyan. If you don't pay for transcribers, pag ikaw talaga yung ano, ikaw talaga yung nag-transcribe, it's hard. It takes a while. So letter A is wrong. 44. Okay, Ma'am Kimberly. Boy. Okay, very good. Answer is boy bandwidth. Kasi lost architecture. When we talk about architecture pertaining to anything online or digital, that doesn't mean architecture na building sa. We're talking about architecture based on how an internet system or an online system is created, uh, the kind of uh, the kind of coding languages that they use, kung paano nila inorganize yan, etc. So it's really not, it doesn't mean physical architecture. And of course, the markets. Kasi some markets, for example, the Chinese market, they have specific censorships with regards to the internet. So ang di lang kasali dyan is bandwidth. Bandwidth is basically just how much data you're allowed to use as a user. It doesn't really do anything. So 45. Hala, bonus din oh. Yeah, bonus talaga siya. It's not ano. So that is the MDG or the Millennium Development Goals. Ibig sabihin yan, it's an aggregate of different nations' views on what should be the priority for the 20 for this millennium. Millennium is 1,000 years, okay? So between the years 2000 to 3000, what should be our goal as a species, as humanity, not just as individual nations? So ito yung walang yan. The first is of course eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. That is the first on the list. So that's we can assume that's the most important. Pangalawa is yung you achieve universal primary education. So ang specified there is primary education because that dyan yung basic life skills tsaka literacy and numeracy. Okay? High school is it doesn't have to be compulsory. This is also one of the reasons why in the Philippines compulsory yung elementary education. If you are able-bodied, you're a parent, and the child is also able-bodied, and yet you don't enroll that child in elementary, you can actually pwede ka makasuhan yan for child abuse. It's considered as child abuse pag hindi mo pinaaral yung bata ng kahit elementary. High school and college, those are optional. Pero elementary, you really have to, human right ng bata yan, na makapag-aral, na at least mabuhay siya na marunong siyang magsulat, tsaka bumilang at magbasa. Then three, gender equality. Four is reduce child mortality from diseases, etc. In conjunction to that, number five, improve maternal health. So less mortality for pregnant women. Number six is HIV and AIDS. This is very common, especially here in the Philippines, because a lot of young Filipinos are very prone to HIV and AIDS. If you look at the statistics, which is very worrisome. So, and number seven, environmental sustainability. So when we talk about environmental sustainability, apart from the five R's, reuse, reduce, recycle, whatever, we also pertain to green energy or renewable energy, since that is the main culprit for everything that we're using right now. Everything that we see right now regarding climate change, ang punot dulo niyan is how we generate electricity, okay, or how we generate power. And so far, we still use traditional coal burning power plants and oil. So hopefully in the future we can get electricity and power for our vehicles from renewable energy, completely from renewable energy. Could be from solar panels, um, windmills, hydropower, and of course the one that we should never forget since it's the most efficient, nuclear power plants. And lastly, number eight, develop a global partnership for development. So basically just buzzwords. Pero yeah, this is the MDG or the Millennium Development Goals. Tapos meron siyang subsidiary yung SDGs, Sustainable Developmental Goals. So anyway, next, 46. Talking about playing God, what does that mean? Okay, Ma'am Kim is letter A. Very good. The answer is letter A. Basically, at this point in history, we are able to do a lot of things that we thought were impossible before. An example of that is air travel, di ba? If you talk to a person living in the Middle Ages, sasabihin mo sa kanila na pwede na tayong lumipad, they would think na you're crazy or that it's magic. Or if you tell them na in the future there will be things na parang mirrors na you can talk to other people in the opposite end of the world, they would consider it a sorcery, di ba? But we just every day we just take it for granted, like what we're doing right now, di ba? Just talking basically to a mirror, and then somehow of the miracles of technology, you guys can hear and see me. So in the future, we will be able to create a lot of things that we think are impossible right now. However, the question there is regarding the ethics. Okay, it doesn't mean that we can do it, that we should do it, and who will tell us how we should do it or whether we should do it or not. So that is where scientific ethics comes in, and that is where the concept of playing God comes in. For example, if you talk about cloning, okay, is it ethical to clone individuals in order to harvest their organs? Okay, what if the other fence says na it's ethical because they're not really living beings, they're just a mass of tissues and organs. But another fence might say na no, because by virtue of their components being human cells, they have to be sentient. They need to have consciousness. So stuff like that. A lot of those things. Tapos those are very difficult ethical questions that we will have to tackle um, in the near future, within 5 to 10 years siguro, especially considering na laganap na ngayon yung AI or yung artificial intelligence. So it's a matter of time before we can make sentient or fully conscious robots. 47. Eto naman, dalawa lang to, direct or indirect. So what do you think? Okay, Ma'am Kim is letter A. All right. So my financial ownership yung my financial relationship yung company sa isang researcher. Tapos meron silang honoraria, meron silang paid expert na testimonies, yung mga consultancy sponsored nila. Okay? But they are not directly paying for the research. Okay? Yung mga ano lang, yung mga peripheral na stuff like the testimonies, the consultants, etc. Maybe a portion of the stock where the university, where the research is being conducted, but they don't directly fund the research. So that is called indirect relationship. Kung ang company na mismo yung nagpa-fund talaga ng research, sila yung nag-hire ng researcher, sila yung nagpapasweldo ng researcher, sila yung nagpa-purchase ng medical equipment, etc., then that is a direct relationship. Okay? So in this case, this is still indirect. Okay, very good. I also put a notation there, group memory. So yung transactive memory system, that just means group memory. So pag let's say 5 kayong mababarkada tapos pumunta kayo sa isang concert, it would not suffice na isa lang yung magre-recall kung ano yung nangyari. There will always be blind spots with regards to our memories because we don't have photographic memories. So kailangan i-consolidate nyo na lang yung 5 kung ano yung natandaan nyo based on that event. That would make for a clearer and more accurate picture of what actually happened. Okay, so that's what we call transactive memory system or group memory. 49. We're talking about policies. Okay, very good. Very easy. That is bio policy. Since we're talking about public policy regarding biology and the life sciences, of course, it's bio policy. Saan na yung iba? I usually just see Ma'am Kimberly and Ma'am Nicole. It's fine if it's wrong. Basta sa board check na. 50. Mm. Okay, very good. That is dog. Common agricultural policy. It's already mentioned there in the question. 51. Mm. Okay, letter A. Bakit? Science requires greater sacrifice coming from the life of the normal people. That is not what science is for. Diba? Science and technology, the main purpose for that is to make the lives of everyday people beneficial. Better, basically. So, hindi kailangan mag-sacrifice ng normal people. That's the antithesis of what we want. We want an easier and more productive life for everyone. Okay, that's why you do research. That's why you do innovation and inventions to make the lives of ordinary people better. 52. Ito pala yung tatlo. So understanding the global dimension of science, recognizing that education and research are subsidized by society, and number 3, acknowledging that science is a social institution with a mission and societal impact. Basically, the focus there is that science and research and technology, they sound very far off, parang very exclusive siya. However, scientists and researchers have to understand that what they're doing is basically indebted to society. It has to go back to society. Okay, that is the main reason why they are doing what they're doing. It is to give back to society. 52. I already used this as an example, no? Mm. Okay, so 52 is letter A, conducting a survey about quality of life, where you were only to gather data from poor communities. So that's an example of a selection bias, which I already explained kanina. 53. We're talking about rights here, okay? Okay, so the answer here is boy. That is bio legislation, basically enacting laws and policies that ensure the rights of all biological things, so plants, animals, and human beings, and also on the rights of future generations to a quality of life that has good biodiversity left. Okay, so we are also um, one of the main reasons behind bio legislation is in order for the future generation to be able to live in a world na meron pa mga puno, meron pa mga hayop, not everything is extinct already. Okay, so that should be a right for future generations, and we should be the ones to guard that or to safeguard that at the moment. And we do that by enacting legislation or laws. Okay? 54. Very easy. Okay. 54 is dog. It's very easy. So, san ba dyan yung hindi requirement for a research organization? Of course, letter D, superiority over ordinary people. You should never feel superior just because you're able to do research. Because it doesn't really mean that you're smarter than them. It just means you're trained in research. Okay? It's a skill. I don't consider research as a God-given talent. It's just a skill that you have to hone. Okay, so there's really nothing special with you if you're able to do research. So you should never feel superior over other people regarding that aspect. So dog. 55, I already discussed this eh. So kayo, do you still remember? Mm. Okay, so letter A. Changing how people think when they start to largely rely on the internet. Basically what we discussed kanina. 56. Mm. Okay, just a hint kasi this question is confusing. Choose the one that is the broadest. Okay? Saan dyan yung broadest na course or concept? Okay, very good. That is letter C, food and agriculture. So letter A, letter B, and letter D, they're all parts of letter C. They're all components of food and agriculture. 57. Okay, so since we're running late now, we're still in number 57, and we've already consumed half the time. I'll just ano ha, I'll just skip directly. Okay, so number 57, that is letter C. That is the direct relationship. Kasi ito, may obvious financial relationship. So, ito, may stock ownership yung company. Ang grants or ang money galing sa company. So, of course, that is an example of a direct relationship. 58. Which of the following statement would best define technology? Again, we already discussed this kanina. Answer is dog. It is a complex set of knowledge, ideas, and methods. Tatlo yan ha. Knowledge, ideas, tsaka methods. And is likely to be the result of a variety of different activities. 59. Eto, a longitudinal study on a new drug for a disease which was in a span of 3 years, two of the subjects died. Sige. So sa tatlong subjects, dalawa daw ang patay, which might be caused by old age. So hindi naman na-confirm kung ano talaga yung cause. So ano sa tingin niyo yung bias dito na applicable for the situation? Yeah, so the answer would be survivor bias. Kasi pag sinabing survivor bias, ang ibig sabihin yan is ang opinion lang ng mga taong nakasurvive yung considered, yung opinion ng mga tao na namatay or na hindi kasali na sa group, they are dismissed na. Eh dalawa, tatlo lang sila, tapos isa lang yung nag-survive. So yung dalawa patay na. So di na sila makapag-talk. And then of course, kahit sabihin natin na hindi, baka pwede nilang sabihin sana na hindi naman dahil sa drug kung bakit kami namatay. It was just because of may sakit ako dito, ganun. Pero we don't really know because they're dead. So they can't really talk. So ang alam lang natin is yung survivor, yung side ng survivor or yung remaining na participant. So that's letter C. 60. Best define what technology is partially non-rival in nature. Ito mahirap to. So non-rival in nature, ibig sabihin hindi siya competitive. Okay, walang competition. So what do you think is the answer? I mean, of course, competitive naman yung creation of technology, di ba? For example, smartphones, etc. So they compete with each other, yung mga companies na ganun. Pero as a whole, technology in general is not really competitive. That is letter B. Very good. Technology can be used by the person without preventing the other person from using it either. Hindi siya competitive kasi pwede namang i-share. Diba? So, bakit? Kapag nag-on ba ako ng phone ko, ma-off yung phone mo? Or if I use the Wi-Fi now, if I connect to a Wi-Fi now, madi-disconnect ka ba? So, it doesn't really, diba? Pag nag-on ako ng laptop ko, ma-off ba yung laptop nyo? It doesn't really add up. That's why technology in general is collaborative in nature. Hindi siya competitive, it's collaborative. Okay? 61. So, ang keyword there is non-public transmission. Okay, ibig sabihin hindi siya nasa domain or hindi siya nasa public domain. It's a private computer kasi non-public eh. So, it's a private individual computer. Anong tawag dyan? Okay, the answer there should be letter A. It's illegal interception. Kanina yung answer natin was system interference kasi it was a public eh. It wasn't specified kung private ba or public yung domain niya. Ito, it's very, it's specified na non-public yung transmission. So, ibig sabihin private, yung naka-private yung laptop or computer. However, in-access pa rin nila. So that's not called system interference anymore. That is specifically illegal interception. Okay? Kasi hindi naman intention ng tao na ma-disclose yung data niya kasi nga hindi naman siya nag-upload. Pero in-intercept pa rin ng hacker. So that is illegal interception or basically hacking. 62. Not one of the reasons for having a conflict of interest. So Sanjan. Not a reason. Okay, the answer should be letter D. The scientist has a goal of helping the community. Kasi that's not a conflict of interest. Okay? So all letter A, letter B, and letter C, they're all conflict of interest. Ang hinahanap kasi is not eh. 63. Conception of basic ideas, and it is a product of laboratory scientists. Very easy. So what do you think? Conception or creation of a basic idea. So is that invention or innovation? Okay, syempre that is. Pwede naman kayo mag-answer if you can catch up. It's fine. So that is letter A. That is invention. Because as I said, pag creation or conception, that is invention. Tapos pag improvement, that is innovation. Tapos pag broad yung concept ng pag very broad yung concept na hinahanap ng question, then you have to answer technology. 64. The following are forms of biases and data analysis except for. So saan dyan yung hindi bias? Letter Okay, the answer there should be letter D. Analyzing the data in relation to the study. Kasi yung letter A, letter C, tsaka letter D, they're all falsification of data. Diba? You report non-existing data, you use inappropriate tests, you eliminate data. So the answer there is letter B. Analyzing the data in relation to the study. Because yan naman talaga dapat yung ginagawa natin. We analyze the data in relation to the study. 65. Wala, di na sila ma-answer. Just write the answer if you can. Okay, that is funding bias. Okay? So, syempre, may funding bias dyan kasi yung company na nagsasell ng product, yan din yung nagsasponsor sa research regarding that. 66. It urges scholars, decision makers, diplomats, business, and civic leaders to actively contribute to the development of a life-supporting society. So, ano, saan dyan? Life-supporting society. Okay. So the answer there, that's wrong. The answer there should be letter A, the Millennium Development Goals. Okay? Letter A dapat yung answer dyan. 67. It is the application of ideas to something directly useful to mankind. Directly useful to mankind. That is anyone? Okay, so the answer there should be innovation. Next, 68. We already discussed this eh. Ito naman, 68. Same with kanina. However, thank you for that answer, Ma'am Ruby. So, ito naman, parang kanina lang to na question. However, may focus siya. That is resource economics, international policy, and corporate policy. So, saan dyan dapat? We're talking about money, basically. Corporate eh. Tsaka na resource economics. So, saan dyan? Answer should be okay, the answer should be bioeconomics. All right. So it's about partitioning natural resources and utilizing natural resources in terms of their economic benefit. So kung gaano ka beneficial economically sa bansa yung natural resources mo and to other nations. A good example of this would be the water in Tibet sa Himalayas. Himalayans, I'm not sure. Tapos it's controlled by it's controlled by China. Tapos they put a lot of dams there. And then yung mga downstream na mga nations, India, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, so they're all in the basically at the mercy of China kasi pag sinarado nila lahat ng dams, so ano nang magagamit nila na tubig downstairs, di ba? So that's why India and China are currently at war in their borders dun sa Tibet. It's because of water. So that's an example of a bioeconomic na conflict, diba? So there is a conflict regarding something biological, in this case water. However, the reason is economic in nature. Pera. 69. So gathering data ka sa isang group of birds. However, na mistakenly identify mo. So kahit na maya, tapos na-classify mo accidentally as parrots. So stuff like that. I don't know. So that's an example of what? A misclassification bias. Okay? It's basically just classification. 70. So again, yung Bayh-Dole Act, ano nga ba yun? This is a repeating question, di ba? So the answer here is letter B. Yung act na nag-grant ng automatic ownership sa sa patent dun sa researcher. So either sa university or sa professor or student na gumagawa ng research. 71. Which of the following refers to the variety of living organisms? So lahat ng organisms, living organisms. What do we call that? What term do we use in reference to animals and plants? Anyone? Okay, so the answer here is biodiversity. All right. So when we talk about a variety of living organisms, specifically plants and animals, we call that as biodiversity. That's the term that we use. 72. Biological systems, living organisms, or derivatives to modify products. So you are using biological things, so plants or animals, and then you modify them. So anong tawag dyan? Okay, the answer there should be letter C, GMO, or genetically modified organisms. Okay? 73. Ito naman tayo sa mga stem cells. Pinaka-famous na Filipino na gumagamit ng stem cell probably that I know of is Juan Ponce Enrile. There's a reason why that man is still alive right now. So stem cells yung ginagamit nila. I'll just discuss later on kung ano yung difference ng mga these kinds of stem cells. Okay. So the answer here is letter C. This is a bonus naman kasi na-include na dyan na-include na dyan yung notation ko. So the answer is letter C because many of the early use of it develops tumors. Ano ba yung stem cells? So stem cells basically are para siyang blank slate na cells. Okay? They are cells na pwedeng mag-change in the future. So they can turn into skin cells, they can turn into nerve cells, they can turn into cells for the lining of your stomach. Basically anything. They are the original cells of the body. Okay? And from there, you begin they change and they transform in order to occupy a specific role. Okay? So for example, you have a specific stem cell tapos later on naging skin cell siya. It transformed into a skin cell. Now, there are four types of ano ba to? Okay, there are four types. So we have okay, we have totipotent. Yang yung totipotent, that is the broadest. Basically, these are kinds of stem cells, yung number L letter A. Those are the kinds of stem cells na kaya talaga nilang mag-change or mag-shift into whatever cell sa body. They can basically clone an entire individual. Okay? And then sa pangalawa, we're categorizing these according to how broad it is, okay, or how versatile these stem cells are. Pinaka-versatile, pinaka-broad is yung totipotent. Tapos sa baba niya yung pluripotent. So yan yung mga stem cells na they can alter din. However, they cannot change into placental cells. So di siya nakakabuo ng actual organism talaga. But it can still serve for major organ groups. Tapos, sa baba niyan is the multipotent stem cells. So these are stem cells na kaya mag-assume ng different roles din, kind of like pluripotent cells. However, mas narrow lang yung focus nila. So instead of organ systems, maybe specific organs lang or maybe one organ lang talaga. And then ang pinaka-specific sa kanila is the unipotent. Yung unipotent talaga, isang possible function lang yung pwedeng gawin ng stem cell na yun. So, pag meron kang unipotent na stem cell, and then you program that particular cell to grow up as a nerve cell, so di talaga yan pwedeng maging skin cell. Unlike totipotent or pluripotent cells, ang kaya lang niyang gawin talaga is to become a nerve cell. So, very, very limited. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So again, totipotent, that's the broadest, then pluripotent, multipotent, and then unipotent. In this case, some of the same characteristics as stem cells that come from embryos. So this is called, okay, this is called the pluripotent stem cells. Okay, it's not called embryonic stem cells. We don't have those. 75. Restricted to becoming a more limited population of cells. So ano dyan? Guys, you can answer if you want. It's fine. Just try to answer if you want. Sige. So it's restricted to a more limited role. So that is, okay, that is multipotent. Okay? Pag one specific role lang talaga, that is unipotent. Okay, GMO means, it's very easy. What do we mean by GMOs? Anyone? Okay, can anyone give an answer? Wala lang dyan yung answer. It's very easy. That is, sana ba yun yung mga star students? Sina Ma'am Kimberly, Ma'am Nicole. Go answer. Sina Sir Joshua. Sana si Sir Joshua? He's gone. What do you think? Okay, so GMO means genetically modified organism. So basically everything that we consume right now that is mass produced, those are genetically modified organisms. An example of that would be almost all of the fruits that we consume. They're already selectively bred and genetically modified, some of them. Kasi they don't look like that at all in the wild. A good example of that would be chickens. Diba? In the wild, chickens are much smaller, narrower, they take longer to develop. Pero in mass-produced, genetically modified na farms, they tend to grow at their peak capacity at only 6 months old, and then they're very very big. They have a lot of eggs, or they have a lot of meat in them, considering how short their lifespan is. So they are called genetically modified organisms. 77. Yeah, this is a bonus then. So, saan dyan yung hindi kasali sa stem cell therapy? Of course, that is letter B kasi it's a plant disease. Yung myeloma, that is a bone marrow cancer. Okay? And just a trivia, kasi a lot of people don't know this for some reason. The bone marrow is responsible, uh, ano ba yung primary function ng bone marrow? Okay, the bone marrow is responsible for creating red blood cells. Okay, pag wala kang bone marrow, wala kang dugo. And then we have lymphoma, that is cancer of the lymph nodes. A good example of a lymph node or a pair of lymph nodes is ito, yung tonsils natin. That's why nagsaswell to pag it gets infected, our throat gets infected. And then of course leukemia, blood cancer or cancer in the blood. So ang hindi kasali dyan is the gymnostoma, which is a plant disease. Hindi naman tayo tanim. So, 78. So only become one specialized cell type. I already discussed this. Sige daw. Yung isa lang talaga yung pwede niyang gawin. Which one? San dyan? Toti, pluri, multi, or uni? What do you think? Okay, sige. I'll wait for your answers, okay? I just answer even if it's wrong. It's fine. Tayo-tayo lang naman dito. Okay. So no one is answering anymore. That's fine. Let's just continue. Okay, so just listen there if you want. But if you want to answer, you can also answer pa rin. So in this case, pag isang specialized cell type lang, that is unipotent. Okay? Tapos yung multipurpose, that is the multipotent. And then pag organ systems na talaga, that is the pluripotent. And then pag kaya niya kaya na niya ang everything, all the possible roles, pwede niyang gawin, that is the totipotent. All right, 79. According to the article, which of the following would be the best definition for stem cell? walang article. So, guesswork na lang tayo. So, saan dyan, sa tingin nyo, yung best na definition ng stem cell? Anyone? Okay. So the best definition for a stem cell is letter A. It's self-renewing and it can differentiate to other types of cells. So it's regenerative. At the same time, it can also assume the roles of other cells. 80. It's a self-organized system that performs complex life processes and is considered as the smallest unit of life. Oh, very easy. Go, guys. Answer. Anyone? Smallest unit of life. It's a very basic biology lesson. What's the basic unit of life or the smallest unit of life? That is the cell. Okay? Letter B. 81. What are teratomas? Okay. I already gave the answer there. It's a tumor with teeth, hair, bones, and muscles. It's not like other tumors, like cancerous tumors, na they're made up of squishy flesh, basically. Teratomas are tumors that are hard kasi they're made up of keratin, they're made up of teeth and hair. It looks gross. So letter A. Solid tumors made up of a mixture of all germ layers. Harleen Jade. Hello, Ma'am Chacha. And I'm Harleen. What does that mean? 82. Nanotech has enabled the following except saan dyan yung hindi kaya ng nanotechnology at the moment? What do you think? Okay, so I'll just answer. The answer here is, of course, letter C, destruction or elimination of hunger in Africa. Hindi pa. Parang wala pa naman tayo sa point na yan. It's very, very far off. 83. Bonus again. National Institute of Health is planning to, of course, use cells or stem cells towards therapeutic use. Okay? That's the main purpose naman of stem cells for therapeutic use. All right. And we have naglag siya. Okay, 84. Developing technologies and new markets. So developing the technology at the same time making the technology more widespread. So it can pierce through other international markets. So ano nga ba yan? What kind of innovation? Okay, so what kind of innovation is that? Letter. Okay, that is letter A, process innovation. Okay, so since we're not talking about, we're not talking about creating something new. We're talking about improving things. Okay, and especially in piercing through new markets. So new, um, enlarging the scope of the technology to include more people in the world. So that is a process innovation. Probably it makes it more accessible or cheaper. 85. Cellular activities are manifestations of which of the following? When you talk about activities within the cell or at the cellular level, what do you think happens? Anyone? Take a guess. Okay, so the answer here would be letter D. Intra and intermolecular transports and motions of cellular molecules. So basically, excretion of waste materials and then intake of beneficial materials for the cell. Okay? 86. Catalyst for organizing and understanding vast knowledge from a system point of view. So we're talking about how to sort knowledge and how to systematize data. Anyone? Okay, so the answer here should be letter B, informatics. Okay, so informatics is basically the study or the discipline of um, systematic uh, systematic sortation of data. Okay, it is trying to make a system which enables us to quickly and efficiently retrieve data. An example of this would be servers. For example, one of the largest one of the largest conglomerate of servers would be ang servers sa YouTube, for example. Kasi imagine how much storage they need in order to keep those videos, diba? YouTube has so many videos, so imagine the storage that they have to use for that. So that belongs to the field of informatics. Okay, 87. Nanotechnology is defined as what? So, what's the best definition when it comes to nanotechnology? The answer should be the answer should be dog. The improvement and production of new products in a scale about 1 to 100 nanometers. I know, sorry. That is letter C pala. Sorry. Okay? So, the understanding and control of matter at dimensions between approximately 1 and 100 nanometers. Very unique phenomena enable novel applications. That should be the answer. C. Sorry. 88. A cell consists a large number of functional what? So in our diet, we have what we call micronutrients and macronutrients. So micronutrients, those are our vitamins and minerals, which we really need very little of. So just a few micrograms to a few grams of those. However, there are also macromolecules. So those molecules are what we, or those nutrients are basically compose most of what we're eating. So fiber, carbohydrates, protein. Okay, those are the things that our body actually need a lot of on a daily basis. If you taken a lot of, if you have an excess dosage of multivitamins or vitamins and minerals, you will die or you will suffer from liver problems. But because they're micronutrients, they only have to exist in the body for very very small quantities. However, for macronutrients, you really have to you really need to have a large number of them in order to fully function. And in this case, the answer would be letter C, macromolecules. So these include proteins, nucleic acids, or the things that are inside our nucleus in the cells, synthetic polymers, or a large number of molecules. Okay, other molecules. Next, 89. The following, according to the module, are significant barriers to firms trying to enter nanotech, except for. Okay, so which one is not a significant hindrance? So we're talking about cost here. Okay, since the question points to firms trying to enter the market, so we're talking about costing. So which one there does not pertain to costing? Okay, the answer should be letter B. Because letter A, letter C, and letter D, they're all relevant towards the cost of something. Okay? 90. A basic commercialization strategies for nanotechnology, which is in response to anticipated or actual demand for specific product characteristics. What is this? Basic commercialization strategies. So it talks about marketing, diba? And creation, expanding the reach of that particular product. So this would still fall under, okay, this in this case, since we're talking about specific product characteristics, so we have to go with product innovation. 91. What do you call biodegradable polymers with the polymer insulin matrix enclosed by the nanoporous membrane containing grafted glucose oxidase? That's a mouthful. I understand. There's a lot of scientific jargon there. However, the basic gist here is what do you call those polymers, basically plastic na soluble plastics na na kayang mag-detect ng glucose oxidase or blood sugar. So anong tawag diyan? So injectables siya. na, or at least implantable, na kayang mag-detect ng glucose oxidase or blood sugar mo. That is letter A, implantable sensor. So we usually use this for people with diabetes mellitus. 92. Who invented the World Wide Web? Everyone here uses the World Wide Web, diba? www dot. So we have to know who invented it. And that person is, okay, that person should be letter D, Tim Berners-Lee. He was the one who invented the World Wide Web. 93. The circular DNA of bacteria is called, what do you think? Kasi for humans, our DNA is, um, it looks like a double helix, di ba? The shape of it is a double helix. But for some bacteria, it's circular. Circular yung DNA nila. What do you call that circular DNA? Anyone? Okay. So the answer here is plasmid. Okay? The circular DNA of a bacteria is called plasmid. 94. A type of diabetes where the body cells do not respond to the presence of insulin. So what do you call that? There is insulin present in the body. However, the cells do not respond anymore. So the insulin cannot function properly. What do you call that? Is that okay? It's diabetes. Pero is it type 1 or type 2? The body can produce insulin. It's just that it's not sensitive anymore. That is okay. So the answer here should be type 2 diabetes. Okay. And 95, a metabolic disorder which results in high levels of blood glucose. Very, very easy. This is, yeah, the full name of diabetes, basically. Diabetes mellitus. All right. And 96. Anyone? Okay, so the answer here, it's a form of injection where the patient's body is injected with insulin. This is called a nano pump. Since, um, letter A, letter B, and letter D, they're all non-injectable. So the only reasonable answer there is a nano pump, even if you're not familiar with the terminologies. 97. This one is also difficult. So what do you think? Anyone? This is hard though. I understand. So the answer here is actually microspheres. Okay? So I already discussed this kanina with regards to the carbon sphere, di ba? Na it's sometimes used to protect specific compounds para di siya mabilis ma-degrade inside the body. So ayun, 98. Okay, so we're finally hello Ma'am Ana. We're finally in the we're finally in the medyo humanities na part. So it should be easier than the pure science kanina. So this one, 98, it's very easy. What do you think? What was the main purpose of the Great Wall? Okay, very good, Ma'am Ana. So letter C, to keep out foreign invaders and of course to control the borders of China. Hala, wait a minute. Ano 98 naman eh? This is supposed to be 150 questions. Okay, wait. Sige, so CR break muna kayo, ha? I'll, um, yeah, CR break muna. Just for 5 minutes. Okay, everyone, something came up. We have to cut the review short. Kasi this is already at the end of the slide. Eh. This is slide 200. I supposedly there are 200 questions for this review. 100 questions for science and then 100 questions for philosophy, humanities, and some sciences. However, ang na-prepare lang dito sa slides is hanggang question 98 lang. Ito na yung last question. So, ayun. I talked to Sir Lex and yun. We have I guess we have to pre-terminate this. So I'm really sorry. Basta yung pina-prepare ko kasi for this 3-hour session was 150 items. I'm not sure kung ano nangyari, but anyway, I'm very sorry. Okay, so let's just end the session here. And good night, everyone. Okay, I hope that's okay. So again, I apologize. I asked them to prepare 150 slides, 150 items, not 98. Because there are supposed to be 200 items eh. Tapos I had it cut kasi 3 hours lang meron tayo. So ayun. Goodbye everyone. Thanks for participating.